I'm John Gray, and I'm just plain living. How about you?
I don't know. I've got the plane down. I don't know about the living. Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
And I'm just glad to be living. Actually.
I know, right? I feel the same
Yeah, that's
way.
why I rename this show. Glad to be living.
Glad to be living. That's right. That's right. So that's how we've evolved over the last 30 years.
We're glad you're back from your little surgery.
Yeah, I had some surgery on Wednesday, and Dr. Corey Calendine went in and scoped my knee, and I feel like a brand new man.
And so you're going to be clogging today, right?
No, not going to be doing any clogging yet, but it feels a whole lot better than it did.
I know it does.
Yeah,
That's
great. So, yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're glad you lived.
Taking some therapy over at Life Care. Those people are really great over there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when you have a problem like I've had with my joints and with this, you know, you're really not active enough, so you lose muscle tone.
Yeah.
And so you don't realize how much muscle tone
Those
you
people,
lose.
yeah, those people are there to give you pain, though. Sorry.
Until you go and they say, okay, we're going to do this. Well,
Yeah.
you think, well, this isn't that much. Well, it might be much.
Yeah.
So my muscles are sore today, but in a good sore. I mean, that's one of those things.
But how often do you have to do that?
I'm going to do it 3 days a week over there, but then he gave me exercises to do on the other days as well.
I'm
and it's like anything else, the more you do, the better you are.
And if I understand correctly, you were back at work the next day or the 2 days after?
Yeah, no, I came back in here. That was Wednesday. I was in here Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, I understood. Yeah.
Just can't stay away.
That's right.
All
That's
day.
Well, I'm not going to stay at home and do nothing.
Right.
You know,
It's all right.
I can prop my leg up here. You know, I can do everything I needed to do right here.
Well, yeah.
Plus, I can sell advertising.
Then
here.
I'll expect you.
I can't do that at home.
I'll expect you on the dance floor at
No, I won't
South
be
Jackson's
dancing.
Ice
I'll be
Cream
there, but
Social.
I probably won't be dancing.
You might be.
I might be, though. I might be.
John is an excellent dancer.
I know.
I used to love to dance as much as anything in the world. At one point, I thought that I would like to take the quick step. I would learn to do that ballroom dance, the quick step, which has always intrigued me because it's like roosters trotting across the dance floor.
You have to go so fast.
Yeah, but
It's sort of a double step
I thought
that
that
you
would
do.
really be a cool workout to dance the quick step.
Thursday night, Valerie Lawrence at 7 o'clock on the lawn at South Jackson on the concrete pad will be teaching swing.
Yeah.
So we hope people will show up. And
you already know how to do that, of course.
I know how to do a lot of things that I'm not doing these days. My repertoire of activities is long.
Repertoire is long, but it's sinking.
I used to play tennis. There's a lot of things.
Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy athletics?
There's not one thing that I didn't enjoy. I was not necessarily good at it.
Right.
But I enjoyed it. That's the only reason I did a lot of stuff. Was just for the fun of it. Some people do everything they do to win, but I don't think that's necessary. I think you can do stuff to
Just do it to have fun.
Just do it to have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've got a bunch of back when I played golf, and I was pretty competitive as an athlete. But there was a bunch of people you'd play with that I just wouldn't play with them anymore.
Because they were so
Yeah,
good.
they'd throw stuff and break stuff.
I know.
This has got to be more fun than this.
I've thrown a golf club or two.
Yeah.
And it started when I first got married to Nancy, and I realized she's a better golfer than I am.
Nancy,
You hate that?
Yeah.
Nancy was a very good golfer.
You know, but
I think the thing about golf is you only get really mad at yourself. You don't really get mad at anybody else. You get mad at yourself and your equipment, and you rip your clothes off and break your clubs, but you don't really get mad at anybody else.
Right.
It's a game about yourself. And what you can
the
do.
thing about golf is it's something you can do till the day you drop dead.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can get out on a beautiful piece of grass and walk around and chase a little ball, and it doesn't make any difference how far you hit it. You're outside in the sunshine, looking at animals fly and crawl around. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to do.
It is a good thing to do because it's peaceful and golf courses are clean, and that's nice.
Yeah. Really good. Hey, speaking about selling, the John Ollie football show is going to start off next month, and of course it's football time.
It is.
The Titans, I think, are going to have a practice this week at some point. So all of that's rolling back into gear. But if anybody wants to be, or you know anybody who wants to be a sponsor on the John Ollie Fifth Quarter Show, this will be our
21st, 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been doing this 25 years.
That's right.
We should be having a party
25 years of the John Ollie Fifth Quarter Show.
That's fabulous.
And you know, we bring the coach in and the players, and we go through the whole game. Bob Lamoya, want to thank Bob Lamoya for many years of service as the videographer for the football team and for us, and we just have a good time. Go to all the games and talk about them, win, lose, or draw. It's fun.
Sure,
of course it is.
And just give me a call at 581-5238 if you're interested in being a sponsor on that show. It's affordable.
That sort of
do we tell
inspired
them?
this network, I think, the football show.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's one of the first things we did when we started.
John Ollie came to town, and we had all the people involved were ex-football players, and the football team wasn't any good, and we got a new football coach and started a football show.
Do we know when the opening game is? Does anybody know that?
I do not know that.
No, but it's usually the third week in August.
Yeah.
It's the week after the country show.
Well, okay.
Country shows what, 10th, 11th, and 12th?
10th, 11th, 12th.
Yeah.
So
So
that
it's
would
the
be
next-
the
it's the
following
next
week.
weekend
That
is-
is the third weekend.
Is
Yeah.
when the first football game is.
Yeah.
All right then.
So, and all is well. All is well in
Do we think
this
we have
town,
a great team
everywhere
this
else.
year?
It'll
think
be,
they're
it'll be
growing.
good.
They've gotten
growing.
older.
They're
Yeah.
growing. But yeah, we'll have some fun. The thing about football in Tullahoma is it's competitive. We play competitively no matter what we do, and it's about watching the growth of the kids that as they go through the season. And John Ollie's such a wonderful teacher, mentor, a great man, not just for kids but for adults as well. And just being around that guy and having your children involved with that guy
Makes you feel good.
is a really good thing. And this community has embraced him and what he's done. And of course, he's the most successful football coach that's ever been here.
Mm-hmm. You know, Scott Chastain, who was the athletic director at Motlow College, he's since moved up into a new job. But, you know, Scott's been involved in sports around this town for years and years and years. And he posted something on his Facebook about name some of the great athletes that you remember from Tullahoma High School that you've witnessed over the years, and what year they played there. And it was amazing that the number of athletes that have come through that school that were actually very good athletes.
Oh yeah,
it was
yes.
Unbelievable.
Gone on to big and better things, probably.
Yeah, a lot of them did. A lot of them played in college
NFL,
and NFL as well, you know, and a number of baseball players.
Yeah.
A number of baseball players and some football players. We've had
3 or 4 football players.
Antonio London was one.
Right.
And I think he played for the Lions.
Yeah.
And there were others. They
it's
escaped
hard
me.
to
Well,
remember.
the Matthews boy
exactly.
played for the Titans.
Exactly.
Played for Tennessee and then went over to Memphis and then
yeah.
quarterback for the Titans.
Right.
So yeah, there's been numerous ones, and of course we've had all kinds of young men go play in the college ranks. The Shaw boys played in Alabama, and you know, different ones moved. One of them played at Ole Miss, and so there's been a lot of good players, and you know, we've got some baseball players in here today that have, you know, that we never can tell. Some of these young men right here might end up
on the big leagues.
in the big leagues.
Right.
That's right. These are championship.
That's where it starts.
Well, these are championship caliber people that we have in here today, and it's just like South Jackson Civic Center. They start off on a T-ball team in Tullahoma, and some star, and we have some Patrick Waller, who is a actor in Nashville and done as one of the biggest call actors up there. Started off in a stage right here in Tullahoma.
Well,
So
everybody has to start somewhere, and
our small stages, our small playing fields is where it happens. And we're fortunate here in Tullahoma to have people like Mickey and you and the people who nurture these young folks and give them an opportunity to make a decision whether they want to do this or don't want to do it.
whether they like it or not.
Some of them don't like it. And that's okay. You don't have to like it.
Sure. Yeah.
So
it's just great
thank you.
that you have these options. It's great that we have these options in Tullahoma.
I think that we have a wide variety of activities that are afforded kids in this community, and parents that support them, and sponsors and so forth. We're very lucky.
Sure. There's no doubt.
Very fortunate, in a lot of activities.
And of course, I want everybody to know, he'll probably be on the set here before long, but the king of the river is here today, the king of the duck. And we ought to get him a duck head. It's Mickey Miller. He floats that river, knows that river. He should guide the river.
Yeah.
What does he do? Is he a fisherman?
Hey, no, they float the river and fish and just go and swim and have a big time. Kayak in the river. We need to have P-Head Productions needs to get us a camera, and we all need to float the river.
Oh no, there could be some casualties in there. There might be casualties involved.
Casualties?
Yeah.
Why, Mickey wouldn't let us have any casualties. Hey, my daughter-in-law is preaching at Jacob's wife is preaching at a small church outside of Murfreesboro, and we went up there Sunday, and this is what came out of it. And this is the truth. I walked up to a table of older ladies and said, a table of old men telling old stories and a table of old women talking about old men. And she said, that's your tale, I'm sitting on mine. And then one of them looked and said, apple, chocolate, raisin pecan, want a piece of pie? Sunday potluck.
Potluck
potluck.
Many a fine figure.
You referred to the old ladies. All I can say, if you walked up to the table and characterized them as being old ladies, they must have been really old, John. If they're that, if they were never
they're a good bunch.
So.
They're all kin. Yeah. You know, it's a small church with about 35, 40 members, and everybody lives on that road, Shady Grove Road or Cedar Grove Road. It's Cedar Grove Methodist Church. They all kin to one another.
Yeah.
So they know each other's lies and tales, and to sit at a table with them. Of course, the old men are in here telling their stories, and the old women are over here talking about the old men. That was in a Randy Travis song.
Yeah.
You don't know the same old women I know.
And I said that, and that one woman looked up at me and she said, well, that's your tale, I'm sitting on mine. And this is the 80-year-old woman says that to me. So we had a good time, and Cindy and Jacob did a good job. And we're going to have a good time when we come back in just a minute with the rest of today's show. Pay attention to our sponsors. Go in and see them. And even better than that, buy something when you're there. We'll be right back.
Russell's got your truck, man. Russell's got your truck.
Keith Barnett here at the Russell Barnett Automotive family, and we have sold so many new trucks. We've got over 100 pre-owned trucks to choose from. Any make, any size, any model. It's as easy as going to russellbarnett.com to check out our pre-owned truck inventory. And remember, why buy your next truck anywhere else?
With the best selection anywhere, Russell's got your truck, man.
All I have to do is think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our segment we call Police Pointers, and we're pleased to have joining us today Captain George Marsh with the Tullahoma Police Department, who was just reminding me that school starts back next week.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah. And that people need to be aware of that. And I guess you might have a tendency to forget that if you know, especially if you don't have kids.
For some reason, we forget that our children here in Tullahoma do not have a bus routes. There's no bus running through Tullahoma, so they're walking and they're riding their bicycles to school and from school to home. We just need to be more cognizant of it, be aware and pay attention to these kids as they're trying to cross the street. They're from ages from kindergarten on up, so you know, some of them are not that experienced in crossing the streets. So let's just pay more attention to them.
And that's why I would imagine that the speed limit is 15 miles an hour in the school zones, I think, for the most part, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We're going to be very aggressive, especially in those school zones coming up, especially when you start off the school year. Just a reminder to get folks back into the habit of these kids being on the streets in the mornings and in the afternoons.
Right. And it's awful easy. I know I was cruising through the high school one morning, and I'm thinking, why are all these people going this slow? It was shortly after the transition, and I looked around, and then it hit me. Well, it's a school zone, and I'm doing 30, and everybody else is doing 15. So it's something you really, really need to pay attention to, because I know no one wants to hurt a child or anything like that. But however, the fines for that, if you don't go by that law, are pretty steep.
They're steep. It's $165.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty steep. But the alternative, you know, we're just keeping those children safe in those zones. It's not that far of a zone to have to drive through.
Right.
There's not very extended zones here, so it's just take a few minutes. Allow yourself some extra time in the mornings and the afternoons if you're going to be traveling to those school zones. Just be ready to slow down and pay attention to these kids. They could jot across the street at any time.
Absolutely.
Just pay attention.
I guess most all of the school zones have crossing guards these days.
They all do. Yes, sir.
Yeah, right.
And if for some reason these crossing guards, they come in and they spend a couple hours a day out there at these crossings. They do a great job. We very much appreciate them, and you know, I'm sure that most of the parents do also.
Absolutely, yeah.
But, they end up caring. They care for these kids a lot, and they get to know some of these kids, most of these kids on a name basis. Our officers are excited with the school starting back. We have a program called Adopt a Cop program, where officers spend some time in the schools, and they get to know these children, and it's awful fun to go in there and spend some time with the kids. They do certain activities with them, eat lunch, and read to them, spend time in some classrooms with them. They enjoy it a lot, and the children do too. We can see a big difference in the children responding to it.
I bet. Yeah, I would think that would be a lot of fun to be able to go in these schools and meet the kids and let them meet you, so they know that, well, you don't have to be afraid of a police officer. You know, they're really there to help you.
That's right.
You know,
it's fun when you walk through a school and the kids are in there and they're high-fiving you, they're fist bumping you. You know, it's a lot of fun to walk through. It's these elementary schools, especially with that going on.
Right. And you guys, sounds like to me, routinely spend time in schools on a regular basis. You go there maybe every day. I don't know, but
well, we spend a lot of time in school. We spend quite a few trips every day to each individual school in the city. It's a program that our officers really enjoy. We believe the teachers enjoy it, along with the children enjoy it. So it's a lot of fun, and it serves its purpose.
I would have to think it's somewhat of a deterrent for someone who may be wanting to commit a crime that might involve the schools, because you never know when you guys are going to be there.
You never know when we're going to be there. We're not set on a schedule. We're just when these officers are coming in on their free time. They're coming in when they're not on duty, but they're coming in uniform, and they're coming in. They're spending their free time to come in and participate with school programs and with the children.
Right. Now, going back to the crossing guards, I assume the crossing guards are probably trained and supervised by the police department. Is that correct?
They are trained and supervised by Lieutenant Henderson, Phil Henderson.
Oh, right. Who was on the show, took your place one day. Yeah. Right. And best I remember, Lieutenant Henderson has been with the Tullahoma Police Department for in excess of 30 years.
In excess of 30 years, yes, sir.
Yeah, so, okay. All right. Are there other things, other issues? I know school zones are important, and particularly we need to remember that $165 fine, because probably it's not worth that for you to endanger the children, number one, and number two, to get where you're going 2 minutes earlier, because as you mentioned, the school zones are not that long.
Well, since we're on the subject of Lieutenant Henderson, he also leads a division, the child safety seat technicians.
Oh yeah.
We have several of those in our department now, and it's free to the public. They come by, we can test their seats, check their seats, make sure they're installed correctly, and if need be, we can offer them a new car seat to put in their cars. The officers will take the car seat out. They will show you how to replace it. They'll replace it themselves and have you replace it, and they'll check it after you replace it. It's a learning situation.
Right.
Which ties into our traffic enforcement areas. We had to look at traffic enforcement in different areas as far as where we having our accidents at and what's the cause of those accidents. We come back and we try to figure out what's causing these accidents in these areas, and we're doing very heavy traffic enforcement in those areas. You got I've heard it called from drivers. Well, I did a California roll stop.
Right.
Well, that's not a stop at a stop sign. You have to come to a complete stop at a stop sign. And it's like you said earlier, you can get distracted by something and not see something to your left or to your right. You're coming to the stop sign, you didn't see that car had already stopped and ready to go, and then you roll through it and you have a fender bender.
Right.
Who's going to be at fault in that? And
you might clarify what a California roll is, because that was a term that I did not know till we started doing this segment.
Well, it's you slow down for the stop sign, but you do not stop. You just slow down very slowly and just keep going, but you do not come to a complete stop.
And the law is you have to come to a complete stop.
The law is you got to come to a complete stop.
Right. Okay, so that's good information there. I'm guessing the fine for running the stop sign somewhere in that over $100 as well.
It is. It's also over.
Yeah, but
what we try to do is there's certain things that we just don't overlook at all as far as citation. We have several different things that we can do. We can write a citation, we can issue warnings, or we can arrest on certain situations. But most of the traffic offenses are misdemeanor offenses, whereas if it ends up going to a general sessions court, we can write you a citation. It's also considered a summons in the general sessions courts without having to take someone to the jail and make them post bond. So we can do that. Well, what we're looking at your safety equipment, your headlights, your tail lights, your blinkers. Those things need to work. Those help prevent traffic accidents.
Absolutely.
Stopping at stop signs and red lights and not trying to beat that red light. Those are things that also cause traffic accidents. Not driving down a turning lane from Kroger to Walmart. That's not a driving lane. It's a turning lane.
Right.
And those kind of things there. We're going to be very, very heavy on looking for those items here in the next few weeks, and we're going to try to cut that down.
The turning lane is interesting because people do want to drive in the turning lane, and if you're trying to turn, chances are you're in a situation where you could run head on into somebody that's in that turning lane and not turning, just driving down the lane.
Traffic on North Jackson Street is so heavy right now. It's certain areas, certain times of day especially, it's very heavy down through there. And we can't use those turning lanes for traffic lanes. People are getting into these businesses, full of businesses through there, and Tullahoma is growing. And we got to start paying attention to some of these things that we didn't pay, as drivers, stuff we didn't pay attention to before.
Yeah, and a lot of this is common sense, and a lot of it's the law. But every now and then you need to refresh yourself, your mind, and what those issues are. We had a fun thing happen on here one time when Chief Blackwell was doing this segment, because we talked one day about turn right on red. If the red light's red, you can turn right after you stop. And correct me if I get this wrong, but the funny thing was Chief Blackwell mentioned that it is a state law. Well, this program goes to a number of other cities and other counties as well as Tullahoma. Somebody told me that, because we work in other counties quite regular too, and somebody told me that they got stopped in another city, in another county, and for turning right on red, and it was a new police officer, and I guess forgot that was the state law, and they reminded him that the Tullahoma police chief said it was okay to do that. and he didn't get a ticket, but I imagine that might have made the other officer a little upset that he didn't care what the Tullahoma police chief said about that. But it is good information, I think.
It is. It's just safety. It's just the rules of the road.
Right.
Just use those rules of the road. We all learn it before we get our driver's license.
Right.
And then we just get so comfortable with driving, we just forget about it.
Right. But might also mention that in my experience, the Tullahoma Police Department is not out to give you a ticket. They just want you to be safe and be aware of what.
Right. We try to educate rather than punish by monetary values. We'd rather write a warning if we can. There's certain things we won't write a warning for. But most of the time we write more warnings than we write citations.
Right. But it's a serious thing of following those speed limit laws when you're in school zone. That is serious. Somebody could get seriously hurt, and I know you don't want that to happen. Captain, thank you so much for coming by today. Always a pleasure and always informative. It's good for me as well because it makes me think about these things too. I hope I'm a better driver for that. Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment with more Living right after this.
The current mayor says he needs 4 more years to clean up the debt he inherited. Really, Gary? The primary obligation during David Pennington's terms was to benefit our schools. The people of Coffee County voted in a referendum to improve and build more schools. Were the people of Coffee County wrong? David Pennington doesn't think so. I support quality schools for our students and teachers. The other debt was from building a new jail. The state of Tennessee mandated that we build a new jail. Was the Coffee County Commission wrong to follow state law? David Pennington doesn't think so. Think of the enormous cost if we'd waited for the state of Tennessee to close our jail. We would have to pay other counties to house our prisoners. Taking care of our schools and our jail was the right thing to do. Vote for the candidate who believes in doing what's right for Coffee County. Vote for David Pennington for Coffee County Mayor.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No 2 visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Hello, I'm John Rickman, and this is...
I'm Pat Welch, and we're here today to bring you the first installment, hopefully not the last, but possibly the last, of Conversations with John and Pat.
We'll be talking about Tullahoma. We'll be talking about things that happen in schools, in the community. First, I want to do a little song. I have been writing songs down through the years, and this is one about my hometown of Chapel Hill, Tennessee. There we have the Chapel Hill Ghost Light. That's probably one of the most known phenomenon around, and this is how that song goes. Well, many years ago along the railroad track one night, a man was walking home and held a lantern for his light. He never heard the whistle scream or the mighty engine pound. He never even knew it when that freight train ran him down. The engineer ran back in time to see the poor man die. But as he neared the tragic spot, a light rose in the sky. Let the folks say above the track his lantern shining bright. And still his lantern hangs over the railroad, watching every freight train go by. There's a ghost light over the railroad, shining in the Chapel Hill sky. Looking at the ghost light will make your blood run cold. It moves along the railroad track and haunts your very soul. A spirit holds a lantern high for all the world to see. For the old ghost light of Chapel Hill remains a mystery. And still his lantern hangs over the railroad, watching every freight train go by. There's a ghost light over the railroad, shining in the Chapel Hill sky. Shining in the Chapel Hill sky. Pat, I noticed you didn't go in with harmony on the chorus.
No, John, the best thing I could do to add to that song was stay out of it.
Well, that was fun. No, I understand that you and others from Tullahoma used to come over to see the light in Chapel Hill.
Well, it was a little bit above my generation, a little bit. But before we go too much further, John, maybe we had a prior conversation today where we both agreed that we could bring up things about you in Chapel Hill and me in Tullahoma, and then you living in Tullahoma and me working in Tullahoma, and we're living in Tullahoma and conversing in Tullahoma. But we wanted to be sure that when we told our stories, a good story, it basically tells the truth. It may have a little rough edges on the sides, and we were going to do everything we could not to embarrass our mothers, one of which is 99 years and mine's 85. But so if we insinuate that we've been involved with a caper that we probably shouldn't have been involved in, we want our mothers to assume that we weren't, and we're not going to accuse the other person of actually being there. Now that we got that out of the way, that song was awful pretty, but if the audience had any trouble listening to a country song, the people in Tullahoma heard it that when the gentleman lost his life, he also lost his head, and that as this light and ghost is coming down the railroad tracks at night, that he's actually looking for his head. Now, is that part of it? And
it's hard to imagine without your head. You're looking for the head.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, it's unexplained, Pat.
Okay.
It's one of those things that's a mystery.
But that's kind of the basis of it then, to get the truth out there, and where the song cleaned it up.
Though, it was a good place to take your girlfriend, and they'd snuggle up real tight because it was a scary, spooky place, dark. So, it was a nice place to just go and look for the light.
Well, when I talk to people of John Gray's era, they bring up that it was a great place to take a date, and you tell them about halfway over there, the story got more and more gruesome.
Yeah.
And by the time you got there, the girl was really, really scared and needed comfort, and a little bit more clingy than they may have been.
And you didn't act nervous yourself. You might have been, but didn't show it.
You tried your best not to act.
And they in the 70s, somewhere in the 70s, and maybe mid-70s, they quit letting them go out there, and they made lots of arrests because people congregated out there by the hundreds, and sometimes they'd have rifles with them, and they were shooting at the light, to bring it down. And so it was Bill Warner's porch light, I really think. I don't guess they hit it though. Bill Warner right down the railroad track, and the track turned this way and right down there.
But there'd been several attempts to have a scientific explanation though, didn't it? Because I'd heard that
fire. Or gas in the air.
I heard it was some kind of refraction of light in a fog.
Don't try to use those big words, Pat, because your sons could use them easily, but they're one's at Harvard and the other one's wherever. But go ahead.
Don't let your limited education at Chapel Hill hold us back, John. But they never did explain it.
No.
And the kids still, after the 70s, when the guns got put up?
I guess they still go there. So the last time I was there, I went out with Keith Bilbrey. He used to be on the Ralph Emery show, and he was interested in the light. And he and I and several others went out to the light one night. Of course, we're ancient, standing on the tracks now, but it was a fun time.
Where did you get on the track? Near the old trestle?
There are 4 different crossings. One is under the railroad trestle, going out Depot Street at Chapel Hill. And then there's one down here and one there, and then one down at General Shoe, or what used to be Genesco, the old building down there. So there were 4 different places you could sit, look northward toward the light.
You didn't walk, you just sat by the tracks?
Just sat by the track,
okay.
Right.
All right.
It was interesting, and college kids used to go. I would take kids I went to Martin College in Pulaski and for a couple of years, and then we would drive over there, have a big time, have a good time.
Back on the trestle, John, Depot Street, I think, went in front of your mother's house, where she lived before she came to Tullahoma.
That's the last place she lived.
Right.
Yeah.
I think most of you may have caught that John said it was a 1-lane trestle. It had the road went over the tracks on one lane, and the other lane went under.
Most
the
people
tracks.
went under.
Well, when he says most, that's what we need to pay attention to, because I had heard, John, that at times that high school kids would sometimes run under the trestle and not slow down and not wait to see if somebody else was coming, just for the supposed thrill that they gain by going under there at a high rate of speed and hopefully not have anybody on the other side. And again, anybody listening, especially John's mother, this does not implicate John of pulling that off.
But etiquette in Chapel Hill was you blow when you get ready to go under the trestle, because the other people on the other side can hear it and then they won't come, Teenagers don't hear that lots of times. They got music going or whatever. But anyway, it was a good place to live. And the speed under the track was sometimes a little more than should be. But we have still, the light is popular because I read about it from time to time. Kids, when I taught school, I used to tell kids that they could look it up in the 13 Ghost Stories of Tennessee. There's a book, and they talked about each one of like the Bell Witch and so forth.
Right. Well, I believe that just probably wraps up our first conversation. And
well, that was about the Chapel Hill Light. And if you're ever interested in going, just contact me. Let me know where you are and where you would like to go over there, and we'll send you in a direction. There's not really good.
We may need to go ahead and say now too, John, that if any women wanted to go, they were afraid that we're out.
We're
both
out.
Happily married and don't call.
I wonder if Mike, Sarah Stanton, the Curly, different people who do tours, I wonder if they would be interested in going to Chapel.
A trestle light trip. That would be that'd be neat.
Yeah. It would be affordable.
Well, that probably wraps us up to next time. And as Mr. Couch used to say, that's not the end of the story. We'll be back next week. Thanks.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
All right, folks, we're back, and I made a mistake earlier, and imagine that. Me making a mistake, it happens all the time, trust me. I was talking about my friend Mickey Miller being in here today, and he's on set with us right now, and I was talking about baseball. He's not here about baseball, he's here about fishing. And so what I want to say is this man right here, look at that guy right there. That guy right there is one of those people we have in a town like this that supports so many things. His business name's been on the back of just about every kind of jersey, every kind of sport there is.
I think it has. I think it has. Yes, sir.
And that's these folks like this guy right here what make a town like Tullahoma the great place it is, because now he's involved with Tullahoma's first bass fishing team.
Tullahoma High School's first bass fishing team ever.
And look at these young men here, including this guy right here. But look at these good-looking fellas right here. Give us a little rundown about what's going on, how you started this, how you put it together, and what y'all have accomplished.
Well, it started with my son. He wanted to. He loves outdoors, and he wanted to start fishing. Coffee County had a bass team at the high school. We didn't. I said, well, let's just go to this high school and see if we can't get one started. So a little help with Judd Matheny and the superintendent and the John Olive and Miss Rose. We all got together and they found out what we wanted to do, and they said, sure, no problem. So we put the team together. Started this time last year, so this is the end of our first year. It was a great success. We had 16 teams total, which was a large group of kids.
That's 16 teams in Tullahoma?
That's correct. Yeah, there's two.
Wow.
There's 2 kids to a boat. Of course, the boat has a boat captain, which is an adult, and our team won. 3 high school teams won tournaments, and then I had 2 junior teams, which we also have middle schoolers. So it's not just high schoolers, it's also middle schoolers. So we'll let anybody fish from 8 years old and up. So we have middle school and high school fishing. So it's been good.
And who are these young men here with you today?
Okay, we have Matt Marcel on the left. He's going to be a junior this year. We got Adam Watts. He just graduated. He's my senior I had, my only senior. I think he's going to Trevecca College this coming season. I got Bailey Miller. He's my son, and then Lucas Scott. They're teammates, and these 2 guys here are teammates.
Okay.
So you start off together at the first of the season. You got to stay together.
All right. So there's 8 teams then, right?
There's 16
teams. So you have 32.
That's correct.
32 young men involved in the program in your first year.
That's it.
That is incredible, Mickey.
Got a deep base here for bass fishing.
Well, we're fortunate to be sitting in the middle of the lakes that we have.
That's correct.
Which gives you guys kind of a little bit of an edge on. Think about somebody living on the other side of Nashville, halfway to Knoxville. They ain't got a lake anywhere close to them.
Yeah.
So y'all have access to water. which is a really good thing.
Makes it nice when you drive 15 minutes and be on either lake, Woods, Thames, Normandy, and our fishing team, we go all over the state, and fish. So it's good we've got lakes here we can practice on.
Okay, what kind of success have you had with these young men? You got 32 young men involved in the program. This is the end of your first year, what kind of success have you had?
Well, Bailey and Lucas won a major, which is what they call a state open tournament. There's only 6 of those in the state of Tennessee, which they automatically qualified them for the Nationals, which is coming up next week. And then Matt and Adam, they won a regional tournament, and their points was they were high in the points race, so that helped them put them into the Nationals come next week.
So you have 2 teams that are going to the Nationals?
Nationals.
First year, and you're going to the Nationals?
Yes, sir. So it's kind of like the Bassmasters Classic, but it's for the high school kids.
That is incredible, man. Where is that going to be held?
Kentucky Lake. We'll be leaving out of Paris Landing. Our practice days start Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then the tournament's on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Friday, they'll narrow it down to 12 teams. So if you hadn't made the cut within the top 12 by Saturday morning, you go home.
You go home.
So, but I feel blessed that we've got such a young group of kids that are going, because they're competing with seniors and juniors, and so it can be competitive.
Guys, this is about the coolest thing I can ever remember. When do y'all start school?
August
Wednesday?
1st.
Wednesday?
So.
And you got a piece of paper to get out of school to go fishing? That's absolutely marvelous. I mean, what better could you ask? Let's go and get a little bit from each of you guys. How do you like all of this?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. This is my senior year, so I'm kind of bummed because I'm not going to be able to do this for the rest. Like, these middle schoolers are going to be able to go for a really long time and do this. But this year, I actually met Mickey on the river one time because I didn't know if I could wade through it. And this was like 3 or 4 years ago. And had no idea who he was. And he said, "Hey, what would you think if we started a fishing team?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome." And then, a couple years later, it started. But I've learned so much. Being with a captain, it really teaches you a lot of stuff that you don't know. And so our captain and a lot of captains happen to be either professional anglers or people that have been doing this for so long. So the kids really are learning so much, and I have been able to, go out and fish by myself and be really successful because of what I've learned.
Were you, and all of you, were you fishing before?
Yeah, we were fishing, but we weren't at that professional level, I guess.
All right. What about you, young man?
Well, I started off, and my grandfather and uncle basically taught me everything I know. They fish in a professional bass trail in several lakes around here, Gunnersville, Pickwick, anything like that. But they basically taught me everything I know, got me started, and it's just so much fun.
What about you two in the back?
I started off at the golf course ponds. I've heard you talking about golf earlier, and that came to my mind. There were some big fish in there, and that's what got me. Once I got that first big 5+ pounder, that's when I got into this bass fishing, and I've been in it ever since.
What about you, young man?
Well, my dad's been tournament fishing for probably about 15 years, and I fished my first tournament when I was 10 years old, so with him, and I've been fishing with him ever since. So.
Well, very good. Folks, we're about to run out of time. I want to ask all of you one question. The most important question of all. Do you like to eat fish?
Love it.
I mean, why else do you want to go fishing? Mickey, congratulations, buddy, for your success.
Thank you.
Young men, we're proud of you. We have so many wonderful things that happen in Tullahoma, and we have all these great young people that represent us. And y'all are leaving the state, going to Kentucky to represent the city of Tullahoma. We're proud of you. Congratulations, and catch a big one. Okay? Catch a big one. Good luck and success to all of you. Thanks, buddy,
Thanks for having us.
all you do.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mate. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to have a lovely young lady with me today that I'm lucky enough to be able to share my life with, my wife, Fran Gray, and she's on stage today to talk to us about Alzheimer's Tennessee. And Fran, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. It's great to be here.
Very good. And so will you explain to our audience about the fact that Alzheimer's Tennessee has opened up a new office in Tullahoma, and give us a clue about the ramifications of that and all the things that's going to be happening there. And we're just excited for you, and I'm excited for the community about this. So let us know what's going on.
Alzheimer's Tennessee was formed by a group of families 35 years ago in Knoxville. They saw the need for help for people affected by dementia, for their care partners, and that group has evolved into Alzheimer's Tennessee. Several years ago, a group decided that it would be in the best interest of Tennesseans to have services provided in Tennessee, have funding in Tennessee, to do research in Tennessee and other places. And so they broke away from the Alzheimer's Association and formed Alzheimer's Tennessee. And that group is headquartered in Knoxville, and we have an office in Johnson City, Cookeville, Nashville, and now Tullahoma.
Tullahoma. We have an office in Tullahoma. And that's exciting to me because what Alzheimer's Tennessee does is bring a local presence.
Yes.
To the communities that you serve.
That's right. There has not been an Alzheimer's Association office in Tullahoma for several years, and the need is greater than ever to have support and education for people who are affected by dementia. So the leadership at Alzheimer's Tennessee saw that need and decided to open what we're calling the South Central Tennessee office at 207 North Jackson Street. So I'm very excited to be there. We have rented the front room in what was the L.E. and Maud Taylor home. And there's still a salon there in the back, and lovely women there who are providing their services, and we're hoping to provide a lot of services for families and professionals who are dealing with dementia. Our organization is funded by grants and by our local fundraising efforts, and all of our money stay in Tennessee except for the dollars that go to NIH or other places for research.
Right.
We're very, very big advocates for research, and I'm excited to be part of a new clinical trial called Generation, and everyone will be hearing more about that.
Oh, good.
But we're hoping for a big breakthrough in our generation, so that the generations coming behind us will not have to deal with this dreadful disease of Alzheimer's and the related dementias.
Right.
Yes.
But you have something exciting coming up here pretty soon.
Well, we have several things coming up. Thank you. Yes, next Tuesday, July 31st, we will have our official ribbon cutting at 207 North Jackson, 4:30. And we are so blessed to have gelato provided there by the Grow family as part of the Legacy Creamery and Eli Grow Foundation. So they will be there with their delicious gelato. We plan to have music on the porch, and we invite all of our friends and families to come over between 4:30 and 6:30 so they can learn more about what we're doing. They can pick up some information. We're going to have some prizes, and I know we're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So that's next Tuesday, the 31st, from 4:30 to 6:30 at 207 North Jackson.
And I want people to understand 207 North Jackson is right across the street from the First Christian Church, in between Ropers and Citizens Tri-County Bank.
Yes.
In that beautiful old house that's been sitting there for years and years with a lovely front porch and a nice yard. And Fran's very fortunate, I think, to be located there because you spent time in that home when it was still a home as a young person.
Yes, I loved it there. And it's a feel-good kind of place. And it won't be long until we have our first support group meeting. We're calling it Food for Thought. And again, you'll be hearing more about it, but that starts on August 20th. And it's for care partners for people who have dementia. And that will be facilitated by Marcia Massengill and myself. And we are really looking forward to it. That's August 20th at noon. But before that, on August 18th, Kat Murray is doing a benefit, her famous His Story Told by Her. Bless her heart,
How many times is this?
This is number 13.
Oh, lucky 13.
Yeah, so that's my lucky number.
Mine too.
I feel very blessed to be a friend of Kat's and to have her share her time and talent with us. That will be at South Jackson Civic Center at 7 o'clock on August 18th, with the proceeds coming to Alzheimer's Tennessee.
Very good.
So we're very happy about that. The dancers are dancing, Kat's singing, and we're getting ready for that. So
that'll be great.
Tickets are available for that at her business at McMurr's on OG Street, and also tickets are available at our office. She's given me some tickets to sell.
Oh, good.
And it's all general admission, no reserved seats, and it'll be a rollicking good time. It's always family friendly, and some of us like to get up on the stage and dance around with the dancers. Yes.
I noticed Phillips put the number down there at the bottom.
Yes.
What are your basic hours? When are you there? I know you travel a lot because you're involved in how many counties?
Well, we are serving in southern Middle Tennessee, and so that includes Bedford, Coffee, Franklin, Moore, Lincoln, Murray, Giles, etc.
Yeah. So.
And I say in points in between.
So that's a good number to get Fran, because that's your mobile number too as well.
Yes, that's right.
So she can be contacted at that at all times, whether she's in the office or not. There's a beautiful basket on the front porch to leave a note if you stop by and she's not there. But remember, it's always a good time to make a donation to something as important as Alzheimer's Tennessee.
Well, it is. Our emphasis is education and research and advocacy, and yes, we do need funds, so we are able to do all these things we need to do. You will be hearing more and more about Alzheimer's Tennessee and our efforts to help folks out, to educate people. We are meeting as many physicians and healthcare providers as we can to let them know about our services. And again, if anyone needs help or support, has questions, please call us at 434-2348, and we will be glad to share what we have. And I'm really blessed and excited to be part of this program and to be part of any research projects that are coming up.
Right.
Because all of us know someone who has been affected by dementia. We've had a loved one or a friend who has or is now currently affected by dementia.
Okay.
So we want to take care of our family, our friends, and our
and
future.
the caregivers.
Yes.
And the caregivers. And
Yes.
this is an opportunity for caregivers to learn and be educated. Again, that's a week from today, next Tuesday afternoon from 4:30 to 6:30.
That's right.
And that's at 207 Jackson Street,
North
Jackson, right across from the First Christian Church. Come get some of that good Legacy Creamery Grow Gelato down there.
Yes.
And visit with friends and speak with Fran about
Yes.
anything you might need.
And we want to help make Alzheimer's a memory.
A memory, that's right. Folks, thank you so much. We'll be back after these messages.
Hello, I'm Gary Cordell, your Coffee County Mayor. I want to speak to you personally about the commitment I made to the citizens of Coffee County 4 years ago, that if elected, I would serve our county with honor and integrity. I pledged to work hard, to give 100%, to be effective and efficient in managing your county resources. I want to take this opportunity to assure the citizens of Coffee County that our county's financial condition is much stronger now than it was 4 years ago. We've had no property tax increase in the last 4 years, and our operating reserve fund balance has tripled. The most important question you must ask yourself when you walk into the voting booth is simply, who's best qualified to lead our county forward at this critical time? I have over 40 years of business, management, and leadership experience to best lead Coffee County. Much has been accomplished in the last 4 years, but we've only just begun. Coffee County, let's stay on track. I would appreciate your vote in the August 2nd general election. Thank you.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
I love it when we save the best to last. I'm on the set today with two people that have been with me for a long time. On the end here we have Louise Simmons, and this is Shannon Martin, and they're involved with the Rhythm Express Cloggers, who've been clogging with South Jackson Goes Country for how many years did we say?
Gosh, it was 1986.
1986, you were 12 years old.
Right.
And y'all were the cutest things I'd ever seen in my life, you and your brother.
You mean we're not still?
Oh, well, you're still the cutest things. So this year, which is the weekend of the 10th, 11th, on the 10th and 11th, you all will be dancing with us. And I think we need to start with a clip. When you all won in 2016, what was that award you
Right,
won?
that was the Precision category.
National.
The
That's-
National Clogging Hoedown Council Dance-Off.
That was fabulous.
First place in our age division and in the top 3 overall.
I know, I love that. So we're going to show that now, and you can get an idea of what clogging is all about. It's fabulous. No wonder you guys are in such a good shape.
We try.
Constant clogging. Louise, when did you start back? I know you've been with the Cloggers for a long time, but when did you start back with this group?
About 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Gosh, at least.
Yeah. And look at you, slim and trim. Anybody that wants to know the health benefits of dance, just watch Miss Louise Simmons do her number. She teaches, she dances, she's fabulous. All right, you guys are going to be on the Friday show and the Saturday show, and we hope that you'll buy some tickets because getting to see this caliber of dancer is wonderful. Do you remember some of the things we've done together?
I do. I remember going to Nashville and doing a big thing in Nashville with you and your band.
And with
yes.
Don Midget.
Don Midget.
And what fun we had.
Yes, it was great
And
fun.
when we opened the curtain and there was 9,000 people out there, we thought, what are we doing here? But we did good, and it was fun.
We did.
When I do this country show, I don't do it by myself. Obviously, I couldn't do this much stuff. I have some great helpers, but it just thrills me to death to get to see some of the same people every year. It's when I see you guys, I think, it's a family reunion to me.
I really just can't believe that we've been dancing, 32 years on that show.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah, it is possible.
But it's so much fun because it's lively, it's exciting, and we've got a great group. We're excited to even show you our outside show. We got some great beginners.
And that starts are we starting that at 6?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, and we've got barbecue for sale inside the building, so you can get your food, go out and watch the dancers, and they dance until about 7:15 when we then do the indoor show. I know you're going to show some of your younger people too, right?
Right.
On the outdoor show.
Yeah, we'll have our beginners class that just graduated and going into intermediate class. They will be dancing also.
What age group what age does a person generally start their dancing?
I have had some 5 and 6 year olds, but it's always better if they're at least 10. At least 10.
9 or 10 at least.
Right.
Some 9-year-olds are more mature than others.
Correct.
And, I encourage people to get involved in some activity, because I tell you what, when you're dancing, you're not in trouble.
No, you're not.
Right. Oh, you're right.
And then when you're through, you're too tired to do anything else. Keeps you straight. Anyway, back to the show. On Friday and Saturday show at 6 o'clock, the Rhythm Express will be on the concrete pad out in front of the Civic Center and dance till 6:45. And then when we go inside, your precision group will show up after we do the warm-up show at 7 o'clock while people are coming in. At 7:30, the main show starts, and you all are in the Act 1, beginning at the end of Act 1, and your numbers this year are fabulous.
No, we're really excited about it. I mean, we got an Irish precision, red-haired boy we're going to open up with.
I love that.
Great.
Yeah.
And Louise is dancing with us in our competition hoedown, which will be at the end of the show. So, Louise is back with us. Come see it. I think you're going to love it. We're dancing to Orange Blossom Special, and they're all new. So something new for you guys to see. And we'll be doing that in our competition season in the spring.
When is competition?
What we're going to try to shoot for, because we've really just got regrouped again after the summer break, probably looking in the spring, probably around April, May. We're thinking about Dollywood. We compete in that. And then, of course, later on next summer, we'll be competing in the National Dance-Off. We do several competitions.
And where's the National Dance-Off?
Typically, it's at Nashville, Tennessee, when we do the NCHC, which is National Clog and Hoedown Council.
Okay.
Yes.
Everybody gets excited about that. How many are dancing in the competition group?
About 8. 8 dancers. But now we have total, I'd say we've got about 14, 15 dancers. Right. And I'm excited because I was telling Peggy, and Louise was too, we've got this great beginners group that Louise has taught, and we're working with them on intermediate level stuff now. And so if you want to see a good show, come to Sal Jackson Goes Country.
Absolutely.
And see that outside
10,
show.
11, and 12. And the outside show, I think, is a lot of fun. Doesn't cost you a nickel.
Right.
You just watch the outside show for free. And it's always good to grab some Piggy's Place barbecue, which we have for sale inside, while you're watching.
Right.
To keep things going. What do you do in real life?
What do I do in real life? I'm a high school counselor at Coffee County Central High School. My brother has been back for about 3 years since
and they're twins.
Oh my gosh! Did she have to tell you guys
I had
that?
to tell you that.
But Sean teaches economics and psychology at Tullahoma High.
Yeah.
Tullahoma's finest, and we just have a blast. We travel about. We'll be in Viola August 25th. We'll of course be at Sal Jackson Goes Country. Come see us and come see the show.
It's fun, and we look forward to seeing our audience just as much as we look forward to seeing our performers on stage, because it is a yearly affair. And we are through, and we have to stop here. So, Sean and Louise, I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
All right, we're excited.
We'll
Thank
be back
you.
with who knows what.
At the time, maybe you were just building a bridge, a business, or a community. Maybe you were simply working for a home or a better tomorrow. At the time, you served out of duty and love of country. But in that time, we see a legacy created, an American dream lived. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away, and choosing the right seat for your little one's age and size will take you down the road to safer travels.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
Bob. Hi, gang. Well, I can't say thank you
camera ladies today. I can say thank you, camera gentlemen and camera lady Jackie. Thank you for putting a good, contrasty, wonderful, sharp picture on the screen for all our viewers. And thank you, John, for that introduction, and Candy and Fuji. We've had a wonderful winter so far. Sun's out, and by the way, would you be my Valentine? Since today's I'll be your Valentine. This 14th day of February 2002. Somebody asked me not long ago, said, we're talking about the different wonderful service clubs and organizations in Tullahoma, the Lions clubs, the Kiwanis clubs. There used to be a Civitan club here, and an Optimist club, and Junior Chamber of Commerce, and there are other clubs too. One in particular, though, people asked me about, said, well, how long has the Rotary Club been in Tullahoma? And I said, well, it's the oldest continuous service club in Tullahoma. It was founded or organized in 1921, and they received their charter in 1922, which makes it 80 years old, and it's been going strong ever since. And the Rotary Club was founded in Chicago in 1905 by an attorney up there by the name of Paul Harris. He was in his office daydreaming, I think, one day, and said, hey, his secretary or another attorney in there, or somebody visited with him, and said, you know, we ought to get together with some other business and professional people and exchange ideas about our career and our business. And sure enough, they started meeting together, 4 or 5 of them in different offices or different restaurants for lunch. And that's the reason they called it the Rotary Club, because they rotated between offices, and they began to get organized informally, then formally, and they have a classification system in Rotary whereby only one or two from the different careers are classified to be and to have membership. In other words, they wouldn't want 50 or 60 insurance people or 50 or 60 grocerymen or all of the same vocation. They want to diversify so that they could exchange ideas about their career and businesses and meet new people, and that's the way it's been ever since it started. And the Tullahoma Club, as I mentioned, was chartered in 1922. The first president was a fellow by the name of Mr. Sharp Lanham that founded Lanham Manufacturing Company, which is now Worth Sports. But they met, there's about, I think, 15 and 20 of them met in the basement of the King Hotel for a number of years, and they would have programs among themselves or an outside speaker, or they have a big variety of programs. They have program chairmen for each week, and they meet every week in the year except at Christmas time. And they don't meet on the Christmas week or other times occasionally. But anyway, they do meet regularly, and one of the requirements for the membership is that members do have to attend their meetings or make up at a nearby club. Speaking of nearby clubs, the Tullahoma Rotary Club founded and was the founding father of the Winchester Club and also the Manchester Club. Up until recent years, there was 15, I believe, clubs in this district, District 6, 7, 8, and today there are 63 clubs in this district that is from Lebanon to Lewisburg and on over to as far east as Morristown and Knoxville and Oak Ridge, Chattanooga, and a lot of the clubs meet in the morning. There are 2 Rotary clubs in Tullahoma, the Noon Club, which is the oldest one, and it established the Morning Club in 1995, so that those that could not attend noon meetings could attend morning meetings. The Morning Club now meets at the St. Barnabas Church at 6:45 every Tuesday. The Noon Club had to move because from the basement of the King Hotel because they outgrew it, and met at in the dining room of First Methodist Church for years and years, and many years. And again, they outgrew that and met at the what used to be the Commodore, which is now the Executive Inn, in their dining room, and outgrew it, and for a short time moved out to Archie's on South Anderson Street. Well, that wasn't big enough, and the way the dining room was arranged, it could not be the fellowship that's necessary for good Rotary meetings. So they were invited to meet at the Tullahoma Golf and Country Club, and which they still meet there. They have 125 members, and about, I'm guessing now, about 15 or 20 years ago, up until that time, Rotary had always been a male organization. No particular reason for it, except it was just that way. But now, I guess a good 20% of the membership in Rotary is women, and they are leaders in their profession or business too. And the Rotary stretches throughout the world, and many of their programs certainly are just local programs, like they sponsor Boy Scout troops, they sponsor a young man to Boy State every year, and have been for many years. And scholarships, they have a program where they send high school or college graduates on leaves of study in foreign countries. The exchange students do that, and we have a program whereby a group of non-Rotarians come from a district on some other continent, come and visit. I know last year there were 5 or 6 Russians that came to this area, Russian business people, and they were delightful and enjoyed their visit here. And we have exchange groups that go to Europe and South America and every other place. And there's a foundation called the Paul Harris Foundation that a Rotarian or anybody else can be a Paul Harris Fellow. Then they use those funds for education and for the exchange student program. One of the biggest wonderful programs that Rotary has done in many years, and it was started by the late James L. Beaumont, that was the president of Rotary International in 1980 and 81, and it was a Polio Plus program. Polio was running rampant throughout the world, and as a project, Rotary solicited funds among their own membership and gave millions and millions of doses of anti-polio vaccine throughout the world, and it is almost completely eliminated, especially in the underdeveloped countries of the world. And they have had projects in underdeveloped countries such as putting in fresh water and clean water wells and filtration plants. They have sent books and education materials throughout the world. I noticed in the latest Rotary magazine there was a couple of fire trucks that a couple of places in South America had no fire protection in their community at all, and the Rotary Club has sent fire trucks to those places. A great humanitarian place, and one of the successes of Rotary is that the local people get to know each other. The fellowship that's enjoyed within the Rotary Club is real pleasant, where businessmen exchange ideas and help each other. And I sure do thank you for watching today. This is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come, and we'll see you next week.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back and we're saying goodbye. Don't forget the Ice Cream Social, South Jackson Civic Center, Thursday night.
7
Swinging,
o'clock.
dancing. See you next time.